World's Greatest Magic strikes again. When I was a young pigga, I watched this and I was dying. And for some reason, I thought that the trophy that Michael Finney receives at the end of this was actually legitimate, and this was some sort of world championship or some competition, and he was truly the master of misdirection. Little did I know that these accolades were just made up. Master of misdirection, what the fuck is that? I guess I'm the master of my uncle's skin flute.
Many magicians are good with cards. I'm not one of them. Our next performer has taken his mastery of the deck and combined it with a subtle bit of misdirection. But I guess it's all how you look at it. Here now is a wacky, one-of-a-kind comic magician, Michael Finney.
Watching this again really reminds me as to the importance of a good introduction and how that really sets up the magician or the performer and the audience's perspective of that person before they even see them. Jerry Seinfeld actually mentions this in an interview where somebody introduced him as the world's greatest comedian or the world's funniest comedian, and he said, don't do that. Don't do that, because now the audience's expectations are super high, and if I don't happen to meet them, well, they're going to be disappointed. And these introductions seem to be catered towards whatever it is the producers wanted to convey, and that was at the cost of the magician. So Michael Finney is no longer a funny magician. Now he's the master of misdirection. So I'm going to be looking out for his attempts to distract a participant. While really, that's just one facet of his act. I think this screams network intervention to me. It screams that some other hands of people that weren't necessarily magicians were the ones that in charge of how this was conveyed to a television audience. And I've seen this many times with professional wrestling over the years, but this particular one was interesting because I remember seeing this when I was young.
Thank you very, very much. This effect is done with two decks at once.
Take this opportunity to look and bask in this man's Wisconsin waterfall. This guy screams America in the 1990s, and I'm all for it. We need this back. You know this man fucks like a hedgehog.
So that's how it's going to be. You, sir, what is your name?
George.
George, and where are you from?
Las Vegas.
Nice to have you here, sir. Pick a deck.
The bicycle deck.
That would be the big bicycle deck.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nice catch. Here you go. What I need you to do, sir, is pull out any card at random.
What an absolute Sigma move in telling the person good catch right before you even throw the thing. Michael Finney is not the master of misdirection. This man is the master of demolishing betas.
If you have a favorite card you can search through and find it, it's really not necessary because any card at random will do. You think you're nervous. Okay, set the cards down if you like. Show the card to the audience. Don't let me see it. Got it? All right. I'm going to walk towards the stage. You walk towards me. As I turn my head, you take the card you have chosen and stick it into this deck anywhere at random. Did you stick it in yet? This is actually a ridiculous trick. I only do it for the cheap laughs, and you folks have been very gracious. So now that I have you just whipped up into a frenzy, what do you say we continue on in this carnival-like atmosphere?
I really love Michael Finney. He's one of the funniest men in magic, and he could take something trivial and turn it hysterical. He does this rope routine that really had my rib floating out of my body from how hard I was laughing, just because he's a sarcastic fuck. And I really do love the crowd control. You're going to see that with this particular individual. I don't know what drug this man was on, but clearly he was on something. Definitely on the registry. You get what I mean? On the registry, on drugs.
As the audience applauds, please join me on stage. Give this gentleman a big round of applause. How you doing? If you'd stand right over there, sir. Thank you very much. Your name is?
George.
George, nice to meet you. And you're from here in Vegas?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. What do you do for a living, George?
I'm retired.
So what'd you do before you took life so seriously?
Carpentry.
Carpentry, excellent. In order to do this trick, I need two $100 bills. You have two $100 bills?
No.
So this carpentry thing was more of a title than anything else, huh? So often the case. Do you have two $50 bills?
No.
Yeah, otherwise you'd have got the tie for this outfit. Look, have you got any money at all, sir?
Yes.
Well, let's see what you got. I know what I'm looking for. All right, we'll use these 2 10s. Ladies and gentlemen, this is done with 2 $10 bills. On the face is Hamilton. Boy, that magic stuff, it could happen anytime.
Now, Michael Finney here demonstrates clear mastery of being able to get somebody on stage. Sometimes that could become a hard thing, especially with a shy person. And the way that you do it is exactly the way that he did it there, which is that you give them something. Now they're pretty much tied to you by holding some particular object. And here he tells them to join him on stage and everybody claps before the person has any opportunity to protest. Andy Nyman talks about several ways to do this, and I think it's a masterclass in getting a participant actually up to help you out that would ordinarily be shy or steer away from helping somebody up on stage in a performance.
This is head, this is tails. This one's a tail, this one's a head. This is a 10, this is a 10. Which did you give me, this one or this one?
Both of them.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. That's it. You're done. Trick's over. See ya. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't do that.
Now, while this might seem like a gag, it's actually an excellent way to switch in 2 bills that you might necessarily want to ring in for the trick. So they might be gimmicked, they might be prepared in advance, they might have maybe serial numbers that correspond to something that you might need for later on in the trick. And if it fits your personality, this is a nice way to switch them in without resorting to any sort of complicated sleight of hand. Even the first gag, when he reaches for the man's wallet or his wad of cash and says, "I know what I'm looking for," you could technically be looking for bills that best match the ones that you're going to switch in, so the participant is none the wiser.
I'm going to give you a chance to get your money back. How about that?
Sure.
Do you play cards?
Yes.
I tried to show Ritter this. He can't catch on to nothing. Look, as I just pick a card out there. Just pick any card you want out there and just, all right, show it to the audience. Don't let me see it. A little bit higher, please. All right, that'll be fine. Now take it and place it on top. I have $20 that used to belong to you. In order for you to get it back, all you have to do is recognize your card when you see it again. Think you could do that?
Yes.
Tell me when you see it again. Well, George, it looks like you're a little out of luck now. Look, what I want you to do is put your feet together and your hands down to your sides. Take the cards into your right hand fingertips, hold onto them firmly. Bring them, hold onto the whole deck. You drop them, you're picking them up. Bring the cards right up here to your forehead. Hey, George, let's be realistic here now. All right. What I'm going to do...
You know from the very beginning that he had his eyes sniped on this guy because he had the world's shiniest forehead and just so he could use that gag. But one thing I often get pegged with on the PigCake Magic Academy, the home of over 1,500 videos going over card stuff, coin stuff, everything you need to become the best magician you could possibly be, all for the low, low price of $5 a month. This list, as a matter of fact, is outdated and you get more content because I'm always uploading new content and it's just $5 a month. What are you waiting for? Rave reviews all around from all the PigCake Academy members. Is the idea of doing stage work with playing cards and how cards are such a small little object and how to make it play for maybe stage or a situation where you have about 100 people. And this is the perfect trick that does that, where you have an entire audience, an entire auditorium, and yet a simple card trick is going to be able to play massively for the entire crowd just based on the reactions of the person on stage.
Is wave my hand across the front of your eyes and snap my fingers. Your eyes will shut and you will go into a deep trance. Ready? It worked. Ladies and gentlemen, this requires complete silence. For what I'm about to do is read this gentleman's mind, which quite frankly at this point should be a piece of cake. All right, sir, you're concentrating on the card?
Yes.
And your eyes are shut, almost?
Yes, no.
I'm starting to get an impression. Who is Sylvia? Yeah, I don't think you talk about her too much at all, do you? We're going to bring the cards down like this, bring this hand up here. When you hear my fingers snap, your eyes will open, a lot like they are now.
He's so quick, too, with his little quips and his comebacks. That's the thing that really sets apart a magician who's trying to be funny and a magician who's genuinely funny. Now, in terms of showing his mastery of misdirection, you could tell that Michael Finney takes absolutely no chances in this routine, having the participant close his eyes and going into the classic card on forehead shtick. Usually, magicians nowadays use this with the card in mouth as a phase in an ambitious card routine. Personally, I have a way of doing card to mouth that I think is very clever and I've never seen done before. I haven't put it anywhere out there yet, but I'm sure sometime down the line you'll see it too and you'll think, boy, that piggy is very clever.
Thumb through here, show me your card, and I'll give you back your 2 $5 bills, okay? Open your eyes. If you find it with your eyes shut, I'm finding another job. Open your eyes. Just look for the card now. This was the big one, right?
Yes.
All right, keep looking. It's got to be in there somewhere. Here, let me give you a hand over here. That's not it right there, huh? I thought that was it. Is that it right there? All right. Keep looking. It's not that one, huh? Boy, I'm glad you weren't an air traffic controller, I'll tell you that.
I love that he turns his frustration with this participant into a bit with the rest of the audience. Is kind of funny. However, here it's the classic shtick with the card on head where you try to really delay from when the participant is going to be aware of that card and the rest of the audience is, of course, in hysterics seeing you do this. And you get bolder and bolder by, showing them closer to your head and the participant still doesn't see it. But this illustrates the point that I was making earlier about a trick that involves playing cards on stage, actually playing for the entire audience. And this is with the reaction of the participant that's currently helping you out, as well as the visual nature and this weird surreal image of a playing card stuck on your head.
None of these here? Please give him a big round of applause. I got you $20. Thank you very, very much. Be careful going back down the steps. My name is Michael Finney. Thank you very much.
It's extraordinarily easy to be the master of misdirection when your participant on stage is on Ambien. If you do decide to do a trick like this, I do think timing is the most important thing, as well as knowing when to stop. I think it could be intoxicating to keep going with the audience, but eventually they're going to get over the shtick themselves. So you want to have a couple beats, you want to show them the card, you want to get a couple laughs, and then you want to get into the revelation so that everybody could share in this kumbaya moment. Speaking of come on ya, I think I hear my uncle calling.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.